Hi, I'm Julio Anta of Anta's Fitness and Self-Defense, bringing you Anta's Fit and Fearless Challenge. This video of this week, obviously everybody knows I'm doing a weekly video for those doing our 8-week challenge, but this is for everybody, all of our students or anybody that wants to learn a little bit about fitness, nutrition, but this is our fitness video number 7, and obviously I called it the Horrors of Aerobics. So let me explain a little bit about what I mean by that. Now, if you guys watched last week's video, which was number 6, which was weight training fundamentals. And there I explained briefly how long cardio destroys muscle. I showed you pictures of my example that I like to give of sprinters, I think the most beautiful bodies in the Olympics, versus marathon runners that look sick. From the back, they're like this, you can't tell if they're a male or female because they don't have much muscle. Everybody needs muscle, male and female, to look masculine or feminine. Now, the problem with that is of these long cardio, and what I mean by long cardio is an hour nonstop, 45 minutes nonstop. We're going to talk about later how to do it. Is that, like I said before in that other video, it destroys your muscle. It slows down your metabolism. You become the same person that you were, but smaller, because you've lost weight. So, why? Well, one of the reasons why is what our bodies were meant for. We were hunters. You know, primitive times, we didn't go to the supermarket to eat. The males were hunters, the female took care of the kids, made the food, everybody had their job. Reason women have bigger hips than men is for birth, childbirth, but also carrying the child as they had to sprint or do whatever they did with the man. The hunter, that's where we get the fight or flight, would decide to either fight or flight. He saw an animal, is he gonna go hunt him? With an arrow, bow and arrow, with a spear, he would have to sprint after him. Hide, run after, look for the animal, hide if he had an arrow, boom. Or sprint after him, throw the spear. Our bodies were made for sprinting, not for long distance running. As we mentioned before in the other video, at the end of marathons, there's defibrillators, people are dropping dead. A lot of these top Olympic marathon runners have heart attacks at younger than I am today, age. So what I'm getting at is it's long distance cardio. Long distance cardio is not great for your heart. Okay, it's better than laying around all day, weighing 300 pounds, eating hamburgers, hot dog, watching TV, eating cake, and laying back, living an unhealthy life. But where I'm getting at is not good for your joints. It's not good for longevity. It drops your testosterone level. I think I said it in the last video. They say take a picture. I don't know who said it, but I read it. Take a picture if you run a marathon after you ran the marathon. That's how you're going to look in 10 years. Because it's not really good for your body. Now, I know everybody doesn't care how their body looks. It's part health, it's part your body. But I'll never forget being a former competitive bodybuilder in my 20s in the early to mid 1980s. I remember hearing a story about in the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Richard Simmons. Arnold was not a movie star. All he was a musclehead, a bodybuilder. And they both talked about fitness. And I'm not taking nothing from Richard Simmons. It was Arnold and Richard Simmons. I mean, the guy was overweight and he lost all that fat. And he helped a lot of women that were out of shape in general. But they asked him, why would you tell our audience and the people watching you that they should do your workout? I have no idea what Richard Simmons says. I read this. I actually didn't get to see it. And Arnold literally went like this. Boom. Do you want to look like me or you want to look like him? Well, you know what? I'll never forget that. I really don't want to look like Richard Simmons, even though I admire the things he does. You can lose fat and get in shape doing cardio, but it's got to be done correctly. You could also get in great shape with no cardio. If you're my age, sure, I need some cardio. I need to strengthen my heart, and it helped me to lose body fat. But when I was a competitive bodybuilder, when I competed in particular, I remember 1983, competed in the Mr. Miami and Mr. Junior Florida bodybuilding competition. Well, my trainer and training partner that I talked about in the last video, Joe Travi, Smokey Joe, actually wanted me. At that time, they weren't that big into cardio. Today they are. Bodybuilders today will do a lot of cardio to drop the body fat, but correctly. He told me to run a mile once a week. By the way, man, I did everything from my diet perfect, posing, working out good until the day of the contest. Everything you had to do, but the running. I would run sometimes. I think I would run this week, and maybe 2 weeks without running, then maybe run, just scattered like that. So I didn't do much cardio. I was gonna say I didn't do any, but I don't like to lie. I did a little bit, but you can consider that hardly no cardio. So as I was saying, let's talk about how to utilize cardio. I keep on using aerobic cardio back and forth and saying that it destroys your body, that it destroys muscles, the horrors of it. But let's talk about how you could use it for you to work. Well, first, if you're doing weight training, and you should, either calisthenic, push-ups, sit-ups, whatever, or weight training, do that first. And anytime I go on vacation, I look for a gym all over the world, all over the United States. And I see them. The person on that treadmill for an hour. Spoke to someone once that I knew. She asked me, wow, my body hasn't changed in years. And I'm getting older and I'm scared it's going to get, I'm going to get flabbier and lose more muscle. So I asked her, what type of workout do you do? I freaked out. She told me, I think it was years ago, an hour on the treadmill, 30 minutes on the elliptical. Before that, she did an hour of regular aerobics, either Zumba, jazzercise, whatever, regular aerobics or step or whatever, and then 30 minutes with weights. I told her, stop all the aerobics. Do sprints only, but do them after a hard work weight. I saw her lifting the weights. They were like those silver paperweight looking things, going like this and talking. If you can work, unless you're an Olympic athlete or a high level world champion, there is no humanly possible way that you could work out. That was over 3 hours of training. There's no way, because of the low intensity. What you need to do is high intensity training. They call HIIT, high intensity interval training. And what happens is it's blast. You work out hard, high intensity, then you either take a small break or slow it down. So let me give you an example. Let's say you want to do that hamster wheel, the treadmill. Well, walk fast for 2 minutes, sprint for a minute, walk for 2 minutes, sprint for a minute, no more than 20 minutes. That, and there's other ways too, but that will not destroy the muscle, actually help you build some muscle. It will not drop your testosterone like aerobics long does. It will actually help bring up your testosterone. By the way, men, we need testosterone, but women do too, but not as much. It will speed up your metabolism also. So that is one way that you could burn more fat and lose muscle faster, as opposed to, the way that most people do it. What I was getting at, that wherever I go train, I see it. People spend 30 minutes, an hour on that, any of them, elliptical, the bicycle, but no intensity. Talking on the phone, watching TV, reading a book, no intensity. it's all about intensity. We talked about intensity in your weight training in the last video, but it's all about intensity. If I can get an incredible workout in a shorter amount of time is better than spending hours and hours and hours. And as a martial artist, man, I want to spend time working my technique. So I don't want to spend all day doing cardio. And then I don't want to be like the stereotypical martial artist that we talked about, you know, in the last video. The joke in the martial arts world, the higher the degree, the smaller the belt gets because your belly gets bigger. No. We have to be example. Trainers, martial artists, we have to be example. How can we tell someone to do something that we can't do? Now, there are other things that you could also do. Things that we do in our class. But some of them, if you have the equipment, and if you don't, there's still other things you could do. That's why these videos are for, to train when you don't come. That also help. Or, I'm sorry, that is also high intensity interval training or HIIT. One, Tabatas. About 3 or 4 videos ago, we talked about Tabatas. 20-second of whatever. You could even do kettlebells with the Tabatas, but I think I explained it with calisthenics. 20 seconds of push-up. Then for 8 different times makes 1 set. So 20 seconds of, let's say, push-ups. Then rest for 10. Then 20 seconds of squats, rest for 10. Then 20 seconds of sit-up, rest for 10. Or you could do them all push-ups or all squats or just 8 different exercises. 20 training, rest for 10. That is 1 set of Tabata. 8 exercises. Now, if you have the energy, the strength, you've been doing them, you can do more. Then take like a minute or 2 rest and do another set of Tabata. My favorite, boxing Muay Thai rounds. Sometimes my back is really bad. No, if my back is bad, I'll do boxing. If it's really bad, I really can't do it because of the correct way to punch. You know, I feel it in the back. So let's say boxing rounds. 3 minutes on, 1 minute rest. Totally rest. Sometimes in class, you guys know, we do in the rest, we do a little bit of calisthenic. Not the full minute, but a little bit. But either way, you might want to start with shadow boxing or shadow Muay Thai, throwing the elbows and the knees in. And then do a few rounds of that. Then go to the heavy bag, put on gloves, never hit without gloves. Wrap your hands well, hit with gloves. On the heavy bag, that really works, even your bone strength, because you're hitting. Now, from there, you can go to the double end bag. You know, the one that's a ball with the, on top that we have at the school that comes back at you. And then the speed bag. So there, you could actually do 20 minutes, or you could do more. If you're, let's say you're training for a fight, sure, you're going to do more. But if you're just a regular person that wants to get in shape, lose fat, do 20. Try to 20, 22 minutes, whatever it adds up. 3-minute round, 1 minute rest. Battling ropes. Man, battling ropes. You have bad knees, you could do them. We have them at the school. I have them in my home gym too. 1.5 inches. I have a 2-incher. That one's hell. And you make waves. 1 minute on the battling ropes will destroy you unless you've been training for a while. Most people that have never done them cannot do 1 minute correctly. Making sure the undulation, the waves going to the end of wherever you hook it. So there's a lot of ways to do the battling ropes. You could do them like Tabatas, 20 and rest. You could do 1 minute, rest a minute. You could do 2 minutes, rest 30 seconds. However, but again, you couldn't do it if you wanted to. Just stay doing them forever, because then the waves won't go to the end, and that's the point of it. Kettlebells. Man, kettlebells is the ultimate. It trains you aerobically and anaerobically. It builds muscle and works your cardio, because it's a heavy ball. And in particular, swings. You do kettlebell swings. Your strength is going to skyrocket. You're going to lose fat quick because you're building muscle while you're getting an aerobic workout. So, guys, remember what we talked about earlier. Why normal aerobics, you know, the 1 hour, the 45 minutes, why it's better than eating a hamburger or eating pizza. But literally, there's so many other things that we didn't even talk about. Your joints, all that time, the stress on your joints. But what it does is it gives you the same body. Whatever body you had, you lose 15, 20, 30, 40 pounds, you're that same person like this. To look good, males, I feel, males should look like this. White shoulders, tiny waist. Not like the stereotypical American male today. It looks like a pear with a pot belly. And women, this is the way they would say when I was a kid, the small waist and, hard body and everything else, looking good and bigger. So for that, you need resistance training and high intensity interval training, all the different ones I mentioned. There's more. Those are the ones that I mentioned. And remember what I said. I know some of you guys, you don't care. You just want to be healthy. Just want to live longer. Want to be able to do things. But other people like myself, I want to look good. Like I told you guys, what do I have? Less than 2 months, that'll be 59. I want to look good. I want to have muscle. So as Arnold said, do you want to look like me? Or do you want to look like Richard Simmons? So again, this is Julio Anta from Anta's Fitness and Self-Defense. Until next time, live fit and fearless, and God bless.